大家好啊，歡迎收聽華語電台呢個全新嘅節目 CCR 文化潮流菲律賓。大家留意呢一個係一個雙語嘅節目嚟嘅，我係你哋嘅節目主持人 Janet。以下落嚟呢2個小時我都會陪伴住大家㗎。Hi everyone, you are listening to the Canadian Chinese Radio, and this is the new program called the CCR Cultural Trends of the Philippines. My name is Janet, and I'm the host of this program. I will be with you for the next 2 hours. 嗱，大家聽個名就知道啦，呢個節目當然係講關於菲律賓嘅啦。點解我哋會構思呢個節目呢？因為呢，大家會留意到喺加拿大呢，近年嚟呢多咗好多菲律賓嘅移民。咁而家菲律賓喺加拿大呢係第3大嘅移民族裔嚟嘅噃。咁我哋就不如呢透過呢個節目好好地咁認識佢哋啦。The Philippines are now Canada's top source of immigrants. To date, there are around 660,000 Filipino Canadians in Canada. So let's get to know more about our friends in Canada through this new program. 而每一集呢，我哋都會請嚟自菲律賓嘅嘉賓，同我哋呢分享一下佢哋嘅故事啦，同埋一啲關於菲律賓嘅食物啊、民族風情啊，有啲咩地方好玩啊，甚至乎有啲乜嘢特別嘅節日，有啲咩特別嘅慶祝活動呢，佢都會同我哋分享嘅，係咪好期待呢？ In every episode, we will have several guests from the Philippines to share with us their story. Other than this, of course, some good places in the Philippines that they will recommend us to travel, some really good Filipino food, and some famous festivals in the Philippines. 喺我帶大家深入探究菲律賓之前，當然我要介紹下呢個咁美麗嘅地方啦。Before anything, of course, we will have to introduce this beautiful country to our audience, the Philippines. And to do this, I need help. I have my co-host here this evening. His name is James Bond. He will help us to introduce this beautiful country to everyone. 我要介紹呢一個菲律賓就當然需要幫手，點解呢？因為我有一個非常之好嘅人選呢去介紹菲律賓嘅，佢就係我哋嘅同事，佢個名字叫做 James Bond。我好喜歡佢呢個名字嘅。Hi Bond, thank you for coming today to help me to introduce about your hometown, your home country, the Philippines.
My name is Efren James Bong Faldas. How are you, listeners? Welcome to the program.
Great. And Bond, you know, I have never been to the Philippines. I know it's a beautiful places, but what I know about this country, besides the many islands, I don't know as much as you. So I will have so many questions for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
So first of all, I know it's over 7,000 islands in the Philippines. Is that right?
Yes, 7,107 islands.
Wow! 我就同阿邦講，哇！呢個菲律賓我就未去過嘅，但係我就知道佢當然係好靚嘅一個地方，而我就知道佢好多島嘅。我聽聞就係超過7000個島嘅，哇！邦就犀利，有埋具體數字7107個島啊，喺菲律賓度，非常之厲害。What about population? Like 7,000 islands.
The Philippines has 100,600,000 plus populations.
原來而家咧菲律賓嘅人口咧已經過咗100萬嘅啦。I think it is one of the most populated countries in the world.
Yes, and it's still counting.
Of course. That's a very normal way. And about that 7,107 islands. Thank you for this accurate numbers. About like over 7,000 islands. I believe that it is broadly under like three main divisions. Am I correct?
Yes, and they are called Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
阿邦咧就解釋俾我聽啦。其實呢有7000幾個島，但係佢就主要咧就喺呢7000幾個島就分成咗3個大嘅區份嘅，就包括咩咧？就係呂宋啦、維薩亞斯啦，同埋棉蘭老島嘅。And is the Philippines very big, like size-wise?
Approximately, the Philippines is 300,000 square kilometers, or 831 square miles.
菲律賓有幾大呢？幫真係做足功課。佢話有30萬個平方公里咁大嘅。佢而家其實係喺全世界咧排行咧第64嘅，喺個面積方面嚟講。Where are you from? Like the Philippines? Where are you from? Which part?
I am from the central part of the Philippines, which is called Visayas, and it is on Panay Island. I am from San Miguel, Iloilo, in Panay Island.
So, Iloilo is where you're from?
Yes.
我問阿邦，咁其實佢邊度嚟嘅呢？佢解釋咗俾我聽咧，有呂宋啊，有維薩亞斯啊，有棉蘭老島。佢喺邊度呢？原來佢係喺維薩亞斯嘅市中心嗰度嚟嘅。So Visayas, Central Visayas is where you're from, and like what's so special there? Can you tell us, like, give us some highlights?
In the Visayas Islands, part of Panay or Panay Island, we have Guimaras Island, beautiful Guimaras Island, Sikogon Island, and Boracay Island.
Oh, so Boracay is actually from there.
Yes.
And all these islands, I believe, a lot of good beaches.
Yeah, Boracay Island is white sand beaches. Sikogon Island, Guimaras Island, there's a lot of things to be discovered in Guimaras Island.
我話好奇想知道咧，阿邦咧就喺維薩亞斯嗰度嚟嘛，咁我想問下，究竟維薩亞斯有啲乜嘢highlight 咧，可以同我哋預告下先。咁啊，佢又提過維薩亞斯其實有好多好出名嘅島嘅，其中一個島咧就係 Boracay， 就係長灘島，就係嗰度嚟嘅。哇！如果講到咁正，佢話又話白色嘅沙又成咁正，我遲啲一定要咧介紹下呢一個地方。菲律賓出名就當然係沙灘啊、島嶼啦，有咁多個島啊嘛。咁佢就話Boracay 呢個地方係真係好靚嘅。And yes, Bon. Besides that, what about the languages? Like, first of all, what are the official languages? And I know that so many islands there must be like different dialects.
The official languages of the Philippines are English, Filipino, and 19 regional languages or dialects.
19 regional languages or dialects.
Yeah.
原來菲律賓咧嘅官方語言咧就係英文啦，同埋菲律賓語，但係咧就有成19種其他嘅方言嘅。How many dialects do you know then?
I only knew few because in some areas in the Philippines, like say for example in Panay Island where I live, we have at least 4 or 5 dialects.
Okay.
That when one crosses the boundary for the next province, it's a different language with how you could describe it. But people understand each other because of the Tagalog and English. If they don't understand what we're talking about in our dialect, we translate it into Tagalog or English. And there are some people who could speak Spanish too. Yeah.
我就問到阿邦佢自己本身識幾多種方言呢？佢話其實佢都唔係識好多嘅。咁因為其實佢嚟自嗰個島嶼就叫 Panay Island 啦，喺嗰度呢，淨係嗰度都有4至5種嘅方言啦。咁啊，佢都話去到每一個區份啊，嗰個方言都已經係唔同。有陣時佢就話，若果佢講呢一番説話，對方係唔明嘅，佢就轉去第二個 channel 啦。咁佢其中有一個又係好當然英文喺嗰度係官方語言啦。如果真係對方可能真係唔認識嘅，佢就另外有一種語言咧係佢話好 common 嘅，就叫做 Tagalog。Tagalog right is one of the common。Tagalog 咧就係一種好 common 嘅語言嚟嘅。咁如果真係唔明嘅，轉去呢一個語言度啦。同埋佢話有陣時有好多唔同嘅人咧會識講西班牙話，咁所以西班牙話都係好popular 嘅喺呢一個菲律賓度。So and I think it's interesting, and you said even like just from that island you have like 4 to 5 dialects. 4 to 5 like regional languages, and probably in this blog you speak this language, the next blog is probably the other languages.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But like English is pretty much pretty much okay.
Yeah, almost every Filipinos knows how to speak English, and there are some people who doesn't speak Tagalog fluently, but we could have this conversation in Taglish. Taglish is a combination of Tagalog
and English. It's just like our Chinglish.
That's right.
That's how we call it.
Wow.
How do I say it? So Taglish.
Yeah,
OK。我問阿邦啦，其實好特別喎！你一個島都有4-5種方言，你可能呢一個 block 係講一種語言，第二個 block 咧就已經講第二個語言啦。咁點算咧？佢就話唔緊要，英語咧始終都係好普及嘅喺嗰度，大部分人都識㗎啦。咁亦都有可能有啲人咧唔係咁識英文。冇問題，佢話佢有一種叫做 Taglish， 其實係點樣呢？有少少似我哋嘅 Chinglish 啊，就係我哋嘅中文再加英文撈埋一齊呢，我哋就叫做 Chinglish， 佢就叫做 Taglish 咁解。好容易明啊 ！Thank you, Bon. This is actually interesting. The Philippines. Do you actually go back to the Philippines very often?
I have been to the Philippines 3 times in 1998. 2001 and 2003, but I'm planning to go back to visit the Philippines again maybe next year.
So how long have you been in Canada first? You went back 3 times, but how long have you been here?
29 years and 1 night.
29 years. So in 29 years, you went back 3 times. But at least you are not going back every 10th years. 我問阿邦話，其實佢嚟咗加拿大幾耐？佢嚟咗29年啦。翻咗去菲律賓幾耐？翻咗去3次啫。但係佢話將嚟緊跟住下年啊，佢話下年咧就希望可以翻去菲律賓。So you said you are planning to go back to the Philippines next year.
Yes, maybe for a family reunion or whatever business opportunity that comes along the way.
Since you have been here for so long, like you must get used to the environment or maybe the weather here, or no, because it's too cold here and you actually miss the Philippines.
It's very exciting to learn that you're going back to the Philippines for a visit, because 1 month is not really enough in the Philippines. In my 3 years that going back to the Philippines, I go back and visit Boracay Islands with some members of my families and friends and have a meeting there for 5 days, and then go to some other places. Like if I go to Guimaras Island, there is a mango festival in that area.
I love mango.
Yes, and if I go to Sikogun Island, it's because it's a beautiful place in Sikogun Island. It's not been publicly discovered by almost all people in the Philippines. And Iloilo City alone is one of the booming cities in the Philippines. The famous dances festivities in Iloilo is Dinagyang Festival, which we brought to Hong Kong by Mayor Jed Madilla a couple of months ago after the Dinagyang Festival in January in the Philippines. Dinagyang is a native dance famous in Iloilo City.
我好奇一下咧，就問阿邦，佢下年就想翻呢個菲律賓。咁去菲律賓，哇！咁唔係成日翻去，咁耐先翻去一次，會唔會唔慣啊？定係會有啲乜嘢即係感受咧？佢就淨係一嚟就諗起唔係去菲律賓，佢就諗到好多地方佢會想去啦。佢話上一次咧，佢就 spend 咗好耐時間喺菲律賓，亦都一定要去嘅就係長灘島啦 ，Boracay。佢話嗰度因為好靚，所以佢有 spend 到時間喺嗰度，亦都去好多唔同嘅 island 嘅。咁佢中間又見到好多即係經歷過好多唔同嘅 festival， 例如哇 Mango Festival 啊，佢聽個名就知多芒果啦，我好中意食芒果嘅。咁另外有一個咧，佢話因為佢其實佢嚟自嗰個地方咧，嗰個島咧就叫做 Iloilo。咁佢話嗰度咧係一個非常之而家係一個好繁榮嘅城市嚟㗎啦。咁嗰度有一個好特別嘅節日就叫 Diananga。Is that right? Dinagyang 我都而家學緊菲律賓話，咁佢就話俾我知嗰個 festival 咧好出名嘅，甚至咧喺嗰度嘅 Mayor 咧都帶呢個 festival 咧去香港度喎。咁特別嘅節日，我都好想見識下。Bon, besides everything about the Philippines, I also want to know, you are a Filipino, but
but you work in a Chinese radio company. So I would like to know why, first of all, why you are here, and how do you feel? Like you don't speak Chinese. Maybe you just don't tell me. But like, how do you feel? Like,
I am very much comfortable working with the Chinese people, even since I was in the Philippines, because I was a coach or assistant coach trainer at Tai Tung High School in Bacolod City. And I was a tour guide back home in the Philippines. So I speak all kinds of languages. As long as it is English, I could communicate with anybody. That's why when people ask me coming to our radio station here at Canadian Chinese Radio, number one question is, are you Chinese or do you speak the language? And I'm proud to tell them that it doesn't matter if you don't speak the language, as long as you communicate with your English talent. I could live or work with Chinese people and all over people from all over the world. I am very proud to work with the Chinese people, and some of the friends are calling me the ambassador of the Philippines to Chinese communities.
咁我就好奇想問阿邦，因為佢係嚟自菲律賓，但係佢喺我哋華語電台嗰度工作。咁就問佢第一點解佢會喺呢度工作啦？佢同埋會唔會有啲咩感覺咧？喺度工作，佢話佢覺得自己非常之能夠融入到我哋華語電台啊！因為原來佢講咗少少佢個 background， 原來佢喺菲律賓咧係做呢一個導遊嘅喎，我唔怪得知咁好口才又咁熱情啦。佢原來做導遊嘅，咁遲啲一定要揾佢去介紹下啲名勝啦咁所以咧佢就話佢都話佢其實個個人都講英文嘅話冇問題㗎，只要你講英文，就算我係唔認識中文嘅，咁我都可以喺呢度發展到我嘅所長嘅。And Bon, I know that there are many Filipino Canadians right now in Canada. It's actually the third largest group, like from the Asian, like right now in the Canada. For any like people, newcomers or any immigrants from the Philippines, what do they usually do in Canada, like, in terms of like their occupation? Do they usually focus on, like, I mean, most people maybe focus on one type of industry, but what about the Philippines? What did you observe?
There are some people coming to Canada who are overseas Filipino workers, and they are proud to be working as a companion, babysitter, or personal support worker. But people don't know that there's a lot of professional Filipinos coming here to Canada because they wanted to be working as a nurse, pharmacist, dentist, doctors, engineers, and other mechanical work, including work in the government.
問到阿邦喺加拿大嚟自菲律賓嘅移民呢，大部分佢哋會從事啲咩行業呢？佢就話其實好多人都係做緊 babysitter 啊，或者係家居護理嘅服務員啦。但係其實好多人唔知道，好多嚟自菲律賓嘅海外工作者呢，佢哋亦本身有專業嘅銜頭，佢哋嚟到加拿大，好希望可以從事翻佢哋喺菲律賓做嘅工作，例如係護士啦、藥劑師啦、牙醫啦、醫生等等嘅。咁我哋今日好高興有阿邦上到嚟同我哋介紹菲律賓，好彩有佢幫手啫。以後如果我哋節目有啲咩需要嘅話呢，我都一定會掹埋阿邦上嚟同大家傾偈嘅。跟住落嚟我有份見面禮想送俾大家喎，係咩呢？噔噔噔噔，我想送一個專訪俾大家，而第一位出場嘅重量級人物呢，就係菲律賓駐加拿大嘅大使。It is our honor to have Her Excellency Petronila Garcia, the Filipino Ambassador of Canada.
Good afternoon. I'm Ambassador Petronila Garcia. I'm the Philippine Ambassador to Canada.
First of all, we would like to know what is the scope of your work in Canada? 我哋首先咧就想知道咧，大使咧喺加拿大咧最主要嘅工作咧個範疇係乜嘢嘅？
The scope of my work as ambassador to Canada is to promote bilateral relations between the two countries, particularly in the area of economic cooperation, in the area of political cooperation, and of course, as far as the Filipino community here is concerned, we would like to promote cultural diplomacy and to protect their rights and welfare.
大使就話咧，佢喺加拿大最主要嘅角色咧，就係為兩個國家咧建立互利互好嘅關係嘅，包括經濟上邊啦，同埋政治上邊嘅範疇。而喺加拿大住嘅菲律賓人民嘅福利啊、權益啊，都係佢嘅工作範疇之一嘅。Can you tell us about the Filipino culture?我哋咧就想問下阿大使咧，其實可唔可以同我哋介紹一下咧菲律賓人嘅文化咧？
Well, the Filipino culture is known for its friendliness, for its hospitality, and it's the one country where people like to share food. In fact, when we greet visitors, we say, "Kumain ka na ba?" which means, "Have you eaten?" Normally, when you talk about a typical Filipino soul food, we talk about adobo, which is a stewed meat, usually chicken, stewed in vinegar and garlic and cooked for a long time. Sometimes we mix it with pork. Of course, we have different versions. Some regions also have beef. Adobo is our national dish. But I personally like seafood. I like because we have 7,100 islands, and I like my fish very fresh and from the waters of my country. There is a unique taste to it, so I like what we call pinaputok na isda. Usually, I get the lapu-lapu, which is a grouper. It has to be very fresh. It is wrapped in banana, stuffed with a lot of onions and tomatoes and herbs and salt, and then it's either broiled or fried after it has been wrapped in banana, and it makes putok. Putok means to explode in flavor, and it's very delicious. You ought to try it.
咁大使咧，佢就話咧，菲律賓咧係最出名就係好客啊！咁同埋咧，菲律賓係一個好中意分享食物嘅一個國家嚟嘅喎。佢話菲律賓人咧，其實好多時咧見到對方見到大家咧打招呼，第一句都係問你食咗嘢未啊咁嘅。咁而大使都分享咗一啲佢中意食嘅食物啦。咁第一樣佢叫做 adobo 咧，佢話係一種食物咧係好重呢一個醋嘅味嘅。咁通常用兩種肉去做嘅，雞啦同埋呢一個豬肉嘅。咁佢話將呢兩種肉咧擺埋一齊啦，就有啲onion 啦同埋 adobo 呢一個 sauce 咧去整咧。咁呢一道菜咧煮一段時間咧，咁好味，好正嘅佢話。咁我哋遲啲咧或者咧同大家咧介紹下咧呢個 adobo 係點整都好喎。咁但係大使自己本身咧就好中意食呢一個海鮮嘅。咁佢就話啦，你知道菲律賓咧有成7100幾個島咁多。咁有咁多個島，咁又圍繞住呢個俾個海洋圍繞住嘅，咁當然咧佢啲海鮮咧係好新鮮啊！咁大使自己好中意食咧就係魚啊，佢特別食有一種魚好特別喎，一種魚嗰個製法咧係有香蕉啊、onion 啊、tomato 啫咁樣去整埋一整嘅。咁佢話咧又新鮮啦，你可以煮又得，你可以炒又得。佢話呢一隻魚咧就係佢自己本身咧最中意食嘅，佢仲話我哋一定要試下添噃。分享完文化同食物之後，當然唔少得咧請阿大使為我哋提議一下喺菲律賓有啲咩地方係值得我哋去嘅咧。So can you tell us some places in the Philippines that you think it's worth to go?
Well, obviously, I come from Negros Occidental, which is an island, beautiful island, and I would want more people to visit my island. But every place in the Philippines has its unique flavor. Every place has a beautiful beach. We are known for our beaches, like in Boracay, Palawan. We went recently to Cebu, Bohol, Dumaguete. These are there is no one experience that is common. Everything is unique. Every island is a fresh, it's a new place. So I would really encourage everybody to come to the Philippines and visit it one island at a time, and learn the different fiestas, the different kinds of food, the ecological, what we call the ecotourism, our biodiversity. Everything is there. So come visit the Philippines. This year it's timely. 2015 is the Visit the Philippines year. So a lot of work, a lot of soul is put into making the Philippines more beautiful and more hospitable for the visitors. Thank you.
阿大使就話咧，其實喺菲律賓咧，佢自己咧嚟自嘅島咧就叫做 Negros Occidental。咁佢就話咧，佢呢個島咧，當然佢喺個嚟自呢個島，當然就覺得好靚，同埋當然想多啲人去睇啦。但係其實咧，佢亦都講到每一個喺菲律賓咁多個島，每一個地方每一個島嶼咧，都有佢獨特嘅地方嘅。咁佢話菲律賓咧就係最出名好多好靚嘅沙灘。咁每一個沙灘每一個地方都係一個好獨特嘅經驗嚟嘅。咁每一個地方去每一次去到都會覺得好新鮮。咁所以佢絕對咧鼓勵咧我哋去每一個島嶼，即係每一次去每一個島嗰度，咁就可以體驗到咧當地嘅獨有嘅節日啦，同埋獨特嘅食物嘅。咁佢都提到2015年呢，其實菲律賓呢，即係都好想鼓勵多啲人去到旅行啦。咁所以佢都做咗好多嘢，令到咧成個菲律賓呢啲地方咧望落去好靚咧，同埋好吸引嘅。咁就希望大家咧可以咧有機會去菲律賓呢度玩下睇下啦。歡迎翻嚟華語電台文化潮流之菲律賓，我係 Janet 啊。嗱，而家咧我又有一個好正嘅專訪俾大家啦。我而家咧就請咗咧一位好成功嘅女士上到嚟同我哋分享一下佢嘅 story 喎。咁我哋首先介紹一下先，佢嘅名字叫做 Mila Labon-Quanchuan。Hello. Hi Mila, how are you?
I'm very happy to be here.
Great, and I'm so happy to have a special guest here with me today. Why? Because I admire all business women. And she is the owner of the Casa Melilla restaurant located at 879 York Mill Road. I am really happy to meet with you, Mila. First of all, thank you for coming.
Well, it's really my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And you know what? After my phone call with you, I really can't wait to meet with you. So I'm ultra happy. I have to explain to the audience why I am so excited, because when I chatted with Mila on the phone, her passion in food impressed me a lot. And the way that she talks to me, it's so confident, energetic, and I believe this is the key to success.
Oh, thank you very much. You're too kind.
No, I'm just speaking the truth. 我想同大家講，點解我會今日咁高興咧，能夠有阿 Mila 同我喺度做呢個訪問咧，因為佢係好特別嘅一位女士。當我同佢聯絡嘅時候，佢喺電話度咧對食物嗰種嘅熱情啊，嗰種講説話嘅自信咧，令到我非常之欣賞嘅。咁所以咧，我今日能夠同佢喺度做個訪問咧，我自己咧係非常之高興嘅。Mila 咧，佢係餐廳嘅老闆嚟嘅，佢間餐廳嘅名字叫做 Casa Melilla。我就好有興趣知道點解佢會咧開始呢一個飲食嘅行業嘅。咁我哋不如咧就訪問下關於Mila 一啲嘅 background 先啦。Mila, I believe it is the best to introduce you to the audience first by asking you some of your background.
Okay.
First, can you tell us how long have you been in Canada?
Yes, I came to Canada in 1966 with my mother and my sister.
我咧就問Mila 佢幾時嚟加拿大嘅咧？佢由1966年咧就同佢媽媽同埋佢嘅姐姐咧就嚟到加拿大噶啦。And Mila, I know that first of all you are a businesswoman. You are very busy. You have been here for so long.
Yes.
before we run into the questions about how you run the business. Before you run the business, like did you have anything that you want to be when you were like a kid? Like, do you have anything that this is a vision that I have to do?
That's a good question, because it is what drives us to do what we do. And as a child growing up here in the 60s, there were very little immigrants at that time. As a matter of fact, the city where we lived in, we were the only Filipinos and actually the second Asian family in St. Thomas. The only other family there were actually a Chinese family who owned the Chinese restaurant on Main Street. It was a very small town, called St. Thomas, population 27,000. So getting back to your question, I think at that time you feel a little bit like a fish out of water. And so knowing myself meant knowing where you belong. And because I was only 6 and I was like in my school, I was the only colored person there. Everybody was, Caucasian. And so growing up in this small town and not really knowing my culture, I think influenced me in buying my businesses in the future.
咁我當我問佢兒時有冇啲乜嘢特別嘅渴望想做呢？有冇話細個有啲乜嘢事令到佢有呢一個嘅衝勁或者一啲嘅動力去到而家去 run 呢一個餐館嘅呢？咁佢就略略咁講佢以前係細個咧喺一個地方度居住，而嗰個地方咧就間接咁令到佢咧對食物同埋對創業，尤其是餐館呢一個創業咧有少少嘅影響嘅。點解咧？原來佢喺60年代就嚟到多倫多啦。咁當其時咧，佢喺一個好細嘅灘嗰度住嘅，咁個灘叫做 St. Thomas， 咁嗰度咧人口又少得嗰27,000人嘅啫。咁佢當其時咧就係唯一一個菲律賓嘅種族嘅家庭喺嗰個灘度。佢話而另外一個並非白人嘅種族係咩咧？其實就係 Chinese， 就係我哋唐人啦。咁佢話唐人咧就係喺當嗰個灘嗰度咧就有一間餐館嘅喎，就係當然係做呢個唐餐啦。咁佢就話：哇！咁嗰陣時佢就見到點解喺呢一個細灘入邊有一個喺個 Main Street 度有一間唐人嘅餐館，咁就令到佢開始諗啦。其實咧中國嘅食物啦，中國嘅呢個飲食啦，能夠喺呢一度做到一個餐廳，咁即係話佢哋自己喺呢度有佢嘅地位啦。咁佢就開始想睇下可唔可以為菲律賓呢一個美食同埋呢個文化都喺加拿大度揾到一個位置俾佢嘅祖國呢咁嘅。咁當然啦，其實佢自己好中意食嘢嘅，佢就特別強調佢就特別中意食中國嘅嘢嘅。咁我之前同佢傾偈，佢都講過噶啦，即係中式嘅食物啊，佢就自己好中意嘅。
And you mentioned something that what really drove me, what was my desire. And I think one thing that my mother always drove into us as the two young girls is she said, Mila, you know what? Travel as much as you can. See the world, because when you see other cultures, you will learn. You will learn not just about the other cultures, but you will learn about yourself. And try to do this before you get married.
跟住佢講到咧，當我問佢兒時有啲乜嘢想做或者有啲咩夢想咧，佢又突然間諗起佢媽媽咧以前曾經同佢講過嘅一番説話。佢就話 ：Mila， 你盡量去多啲旅行啦。你要睇多啲世界嘅唔同嘅地方，當你接觸到多啲唔同嘅文化、唔同嘅人，你就會學得更加多嘢啦。而佢會講嗰句最緊要就係未結婚之前好去旅行啦。我相信呢，就係佢媽媽呢番説話呢，令到佢之後日後呢有多唔同嘅里程嘅。而其中一個呢，好特別嘅就係，當我問及佢未開呢間餐館嘅時候，佢之前其實係做啲乜嘢嘅呢？有冇任何開餐館或者開公司嘅 experience 啫？佢冇開餐館嘅經驗，不過佢有一個好特別嘅經歷，就係參加選美啦，而佢仲贏咗菲律賓小姐呢一個名銜嘅。Before Casa Manila, of course, you have your childhood desire, which is also food inspired because you love food. But have you had any experience in running a business before you start Casa Manila?
Yes. Actually, I bought a company when I was 23 years old in 1983. But previous to that, I had actually moved back to the Philippines when I was 19 because I became Miss Philippines for Miss World. And I was modeling. I was in the, a little bit of, as I mentioned, the fashion business. And one thing led to another. I joined a local contest here. I won here, and then I was sent to the Philippines. And that's when I fell in love. Not with a man. I fell in love with my culture. I fell in love with my long lost, kind of forgotten and unknown culture that I had only seen previous about every 5 years. And in those 5 years, it was mainly family centered. But when I went back as Miss Philippines, that's when I was really exposed to the cosmopolitan life in Manila.
原來 Mila 咧19歲咧，因為選美得咗獎之後咧，就翻去菲律賓，咁佢翻咗去馬尼拉嘅。咁喺馬尼拉嘅時候咧，佢就真正咁感受到菲律賓嗰個文化，因為佢好細個就過咗嚟加拿大啊嘛。咁佢以前可能大約5年到翻去一次，嗰個感受冇咁深嘅。但係當佢19歲翻去 Manila 嘅時候，佢就覺得哇非常之唔同啊，感受好深刻啊。嗰刻佢就形容自己，佢真係愛上咗。佢直墮入愛河係咁講，然後佢話，但係佢墮入愛河係唔係同男人墮入愛河，而係咧中意咗菲律賓。So I believe Manila must have all types of cuisines that you actually fell in love with.
They also beautifully showcase the Filipino cuisine. And I had never seen it like that before in Toronto, and especially the kamayan. That was where we're going to talk about that later. Eating with your hands off banana leaves, and I was just like saying, wow, and looking at the artistry, which is the basket weaving and the clay potteries and the furniture and the accessories and the blending with the Spanish colonialism and the trading with the Chinese for so many years, and the different cultures that touched the Filipino culture, and it came out in the artistry in terms of interior design.
Mila 就話咧喺馬尼拉度咧，唔單止有好多嘢食，佢仲有咧好多各樣嘅 showcase 啊，直情係將好多唔同嘅美食擺埋一齊，亦都介紹好多唔同嘅飲食嘅習俗啦。例如我哋遲啲一定會同你講及嘅，因為好特別嘅一個喺菲律賓嘅一個文化嚟嘅，叫做 Kamayan。咁佢就話係簡單嚟講咧，就係用手食嘢嘅，同埋兼且咧就係有啲蕉葉咧就擺喺台度，好似咧係你隻碟咁嘅。咁除此之外，仲有好多好靚嘅裝修啊，喺個餐廳入邊咧，所有嘢都好靚，全部是將呢一個餐廳飲食呢個文化咧，將好似帶咗去另一個層次度啊。And after your experience in Manila, and I know that you have explored there, you have gained different experiences in Manila, you came back to Canada, and then you actually started something different. 咁Mila 咧翻去馬尼拉一段時間啦，然之後咧佢就翻嚟加拿大喎，佢又做咗一啲又係好唔同嘅事喎。佢點咧？佢就創業啦，但係佢仲未創佢呢一個餐館嘅事業嘅，大家一齊聽聽啊。
I was modeling because that's all I really knew how to do in Toronto, and I was teaching at a modeling school. And one thing led to another, and a friend of a friend of a friend who I was sending gifts and letters to my sister invited me to a furniture showroom where he had his business. And there I saw the furniture from the Philippines and the accessories and the artistries that I had fallen in love with, done in such a way that was so quality based. It was beyond craft now. They were no longer crafts. They were now, serious furniture and serious, beautiful interior accessories that were exotic and Asian and beautiful. And I basically wound up, buying 50% of the shares of their retail store called Palma Brava on Yonge and Lawrence at that time, and they were a Chinese Jamaican family who owned Mandarin Interiors, and they were importing furniture from the Philippines and doing it their way, putting Thai silks on it, and just really evolving the furniture. And for me it was like a natural transition for me to go from fashion into this interior design, because it was fashion. For me, it was fashion interior design. And as soon as I said that, like I saw it, I said, oh, maybe this is a way I can connect myself back to the Philippines. I can apply for a job as a buyer.
原來 Mila 咧就輾轉啦，朋友同朋友咁樣介紹之下，就認識咗一間賣家私嘅公司。咁就溝通過之後咧，就發覺佢就好有興趣做呢一個生意。咁佢就買咗呢間公司嘅一半嘅股權。咁然後咧，佢就開始佢嘅生意啦。咁佢因為家私，佢就想啲家私咧就係菲律賓咁直接運過嚟嘅。佢就好想咧將自己仍然成日都有呢個嘅心嘅，佢好想將自己同菲律賓咧聯繫翻埋一齊。In that case, since well, you were doing a furniture business, how did you get in the restaurant business then?
Oh my goodness.
Totally different
by accident.
sector.
But it's never an accident. I actually, in between the after I sold Palma Brava, and I decided to take care of my children after a family crisis. My late husband actually passed away, and I was married, and he, I became a widow with 2 young daughters, 4 and 8, and through discernment and prayer, I realized that the best thing I should do is really to take care of them.
原來咧點解佢會轉型咗去做餐館呢？之前做緊家私噶嘛。原來呢，因為佢屋企出現咗啲狀況，咁佢嘅前夫呢，咁就過咗身，咁佢就有2個女女，咁佢要照顧2個女女，咁就去決定呢，就take 一個 break， 咁去照顧佢嘅屋企人嘅。
So I sold Palma Brava, and there were other circumstances, and I took care of them for a couple of years, but in that time a new passion emerged in me, and that was my interest and my curiosity, my faith seeking understanding, as one saint would put it. I had a very big, in that time of losing my late husband. I've remarried since then, but at that time, going back, it was a tragedy. It was a crisis, and to have 2 young girls, but it was at that time that actually I felt the presence of God in helping me and loving me and guiding me. And so after, while I was looking after them, I was, also doing a lot of self-study. But after a couple of years, when I knew they were okay, I had I was the one who took care of them every day, 24/7. We never parted. I took my kids to school, picked them up, did everything for them, and at that time I let go of the nanny too, so I could be present full time. I did decide after they were okay that I would go back to school.
原來 Mila 咧，因為咧屋企經歷咗個咁大嘅轉變啦，丈夫唔喺度啦，咁雖然佢再婚，但係佢對佢自己嘅本身嘅諗法好多嘢都改變咗，佢更加想去明白一啲事物啦，或者去到更加去令到自己對其他嗰方面好奇感又增加咗，更加想去明白，亦都對佢自己本身嗰個信仰咧，嗰個嘅感覺就更加之強烈啊！令到好想返學校去校園度咧，明白同埋學習呢一個 spirituality 嘅
，and pursue it and faith-seeking understanding. And I wound up going back as a mature student to UFT, Toronto School of Theology, and there I took courses in spirituality and theology, and I enjoyed it so much. I experienced so much healing that I wound up staying for 5 years, and that's when I was actually finished my Master's of Arts in Ministry and Spirituality. So I was doing retreats, actually, high school retreats and school retreats, and I was doing this, and I had several retreats, like going on 70 in 1 year. And you see, it's not a business. It's something, even though I got paid, it's something that I didn't want to become a business, because it's not. And so, but yet I had 2 children that I had to put through university. I knew I wanted to give them an education. I wanted to give them as a gift. And so I knew that I needed to work. But who would give me time off? 70 days a year? Nobody. So I just, after looking at sales jobs, and I saw, no, I've had my business. I think I will do another business at the same time so I can support my family and also, support their education in the future. And that's when I decided I didn't want to sell high-end, furniture. I didn't want to go back there and sell expensive things. I wanted to do something that was recession-proof. And I thought food was the best thing, but certainly not restaurant, because everybody knows that a restaurant is a lot of work. It's 24/7. So I thought of something like, like a food shop, like where you grab something on your way home and you go home and you put it together and it's there. So the model I was looking at was like M&M's, kind of like frozen stuff, but frozen wasn't the way I wanted to go. I knew it was food, but not a restaurant. And one day I happened to be, I was looking at even an ice cream franchise, because
nice.
a premium ice cream, marble slab, because I happen to really love ice cream and I like the purity of it. So, but to answer your question, I was going to the gym one day and I saw Casa Manila, because I live 3 blocks up the street. It's on the way to my gym, Extreme Fitness, Young and Shepherd, but I had to go south. And there I saw it. And I said, wow, a Filipino restaurant. And it's actually in a decent location. And it's got a big sign. And I got to go in there one day. And I did. One day I stopped the car and I drove in. And I talked to the owner. And the owner was like, Filipina, obviously. And I was a bit disappointed when I came in because it was very plain. It was really not, decorated culturally. It was sort of like just, you could tell it was a Japanese restaurant before it, because it had the grill work. But there was a few Filipino decorations. And then the food was actually all counter type food, similar. It was all, kind of ready made, like what you saw at the malls. It's there. And you just kind of point and you just say what you want. And then they put it in the container and then they give it to you. So it was like fast food. And so I said, well, okay, well, I wasn't really thinking anything, but, again, the vision of how I would do it, came as I started to talk to the owner, who was lovely, the previous owner. She was Filipino Chinese, and Lillian. And basically she was, when she found out I was a businesswoman and, she was asking me for advice and, what would you do? And I would give it to her because, I wanted to see this restaurant flourish.
Yep.
And so and we became friends. We basically had spirituality in common more than anything. And so one day I was there and we had our, I had my lunch and we were talking. As I was leaving, I heard myself say, it just came out. And this was the time that I knew I had to find, work so that I could, fulfill the financial goals and supporting my kids and that. And I heard myself saying, oh, well, if you ever decide to sell it, Lillian, just give me a call, okay?
咁啊，原來阿 Mila 咧返咗學校之後啦，咁啊覺得好好玩，又好多 retreat， 但係佢都要返工去揾食噶嘛。咁但係佢又因為好多 retreat 咧，成日要去周圍走啊，咁佢就唔可以請到咁多假，於是乎就想揾下，有冇啲生意做咧？如果有生意做嘅話，咁啊可以又揾到錢，又可以照顧到屋企人咯。咁啊，於是乎佢就機緣巧合之下啦，咁啊見到揸車就見到一間餐廳，就係 Casa Manila 啦 ，Casa Manila 嘅前身啊。咁但係當其時其實唔算一個餐廳嚟嘅，佢好似多比較似一個快餐店咁形式啦。咁啊入到去，哇開頭好開心啦喺出邊，哇有間即係菲律賓嘅餐廳啊，點知入到去就令到佢失望啦。裝修同埋嘢食啊各樣都唔係佢心目中嘅所諗嘅，亦都唔係佢中意嘅。咁啊於是乎佢作為一個即係 business woman 啦，佢又忍唔住咁啊同見到個老闆娘咁啊同佢傾下偈啦。咁啊老闆娘同佢傾偈咧，知道佢係 business woman 就更加想問佢多啲意見啦。一路咁傾下，佢傾到好興起嘅時候，佢就最尾咧就因為個心已經有少少想為呢間餐廳咧，想令到佢變咗一個好嘅餐廳，令到佢發揚光大咁。於是乎佢就同個老闆娘講，不如咁啦，如果你想賣呢個餐廳咧，想賣咗佢嘅話，你 call 我啊，我會賣嘅咁講。就係呢句説話就令到佢咧開始咗呢個 Casa Manila 呢一個餐廳啦。
That was the beginning, and within probably a week, she calls me and she goes, "Were you serious?" And I go, "No." And then she said, well, actually, I was going to buy an ice cream franchise. I'm going to Calgary right now to go for the Discovery Day to find out about a Marble Slab franchise.
Oh, so it's all about the timing.
Simultaneous. It was all. That's why I call it serendipity, because it's timing, it's connections, and but I said, I'll call you when I come back. And so I went to Calgary, and we had the Discovery Day at this franchise, this ice cream marble slab franchise. And my husband was, I think at that time, he was ready to go. And who was so gung-ho on it, yeah, you can make your own ice cream, and it's like that. It's all premium. It's Calgary. The cows are good. And, that's when I was there, and I wasn't sure anymore. All of a sudden, when my husband became sure, I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And it's really funny, but I decided at that trip that we would book ourselves in a beautiful hotels. And after the Discovery Day, I just said, let's not think about anything right now. Let's just, let's just relax and have a nice dinner and maybe watch a movie in our hotel room at the Fairmont. And we did, and what was showing was Eat, Pray, and Love, with Julia Roberts' movie, and the scenes were everywhere from New York to Italy to Bali and India even. And anyways, after I watched the movie, it's really funny, but it was just like an insight. It came to me. I said, you know what? I said, this is a good business and all. I'm really, sure that if you really go at it, it would be good, but that's not really me. I'm more tropical. I'm more like the Bali scene, right? This is who I am. How can I go from, the exotic of the Philippines, Mexico, and because I was also doing buying in Bali too, like for my stores, because I loved it there, and also Mexico. So very exotic, right? And I'm saying, yeah, you know what? This is like, I just believe that identity is really important in what you do. And so that's when Casa Manila kind of like came back into my heart.
為大家翻譯一下先啦，因為阿 Mila 咧當其時又好衝動啦，去形容咁啊講咗句話，如果你想買間鋪頭咧，你就 call 我啦。點知人哋一個禮拜咧就 call 佢啦。佢就問佢：喂，你係咪真係諗住買我間鋪頭？佢話：唔係，我都係講下㗎咋咁講啦。咁因為其實點解咧？當其時佢自己咧就想成日好想做雪糕嘅生意啊。咁啊，當其時咧佢就諗緊有好多構思想去雪糕生意。咁啊去咗Calgary 一趟啊，咁啊又做咗好多唔同嘅research 啊咁等等嘅事宜啦。咁啊佢就發現。即係都真係想直情覺得自己係要做噶啦，連佢先生都同佢講：係啊，你真係咁 ready 嘅話，你就不如去做雪糕嘅生意啦。突然間有一刻佢又停咗。咁啊，佢又覺得，咦，又好似唔係喎，我係嚟自呢個亞熱帶，即係東南亞啦，咁熱嘅地方噶嘛，做雪糕好似唔係我喎，好似都唔係我個本身嘅人咁嘅感覺啦。咁我應該點咧？咁啊，佢喺度再諗，都係唔好諗咁多嘢啦。不如咧就嗰陣時喺個酒店度咁啊，同個先生唔好諗咁多嘢，不如我哋睇場戲咁樣就 relax 下啦。啱啱睇一套戲咧，就係即係阿茱莉亞羅伯斯嘅，即係 Eat Pray Love 咁樣。咁啊睇咗嗰套戲咧，就關於好多食嘢嘅鏡頭啊，睇完晒之後佢就突然間覺得唔係啦，呢一個先至係我想做嘅嘢，就係食嘢，我係好中意食嘢嘅。咁啊嗰刻個腦入邊又出現翻 Casa Manila 嘅呢一個生意啦。咁於是乎佢就形容自己咧，其實原來到尾佢根本即係呢個餐館呢件事根本同埋食物啦，其實都冇離開過佢自己入即係個腦海度嘅。咁於是乎佢就決定都係翻去做翻呢個即係買翻 Casa Manila， 然後咧就去創佢呢一個飲食嘅事業啦。About how Mila started her business, the Casa Manila restaurant, there is still a lot more that she wants to share with us. We will talk about this next week, as well as her thoughts on food and the ideas of food, and also some culture from the Philippines that she wants to bring to the Toronto. For example, the Kamaya experience that we mentioned earlier. So we will definitely talk about this next week. Now, let's take a break. And after the break, there is a segment about travel. And at the end, there will be a segment about festival. 關於 Mila 咧，佢最後點樣買咗 Casa Melina 呢間餐廳咧？佢仲有好多嘢會同我哋分享㗎噃。咁我哋下個禮拜咧會繼續佢嘅故事，唔單止咁喎，佢仲會同我哋分享咧佢對食物嘅睇法啦，同埋一啲菲律賓飲食嘅習俗咧，有乜嘢嘅習俗佢想帶嚟多倫多俾大家睇下嘅咧。大家咧下個禮拜咧就記住留意呢一個嘅專訪，我哋再會有 Mila 嘅專訪嘅。而家首先休息一陣，廣告翻嚟之後咧，我哋將會咧有一個環節係同大家講呢一個菲律賓嘅旅遊。咁有咩地方咧係要介紹大家去菲律賓玩嘅咧？大家千祈唔好行開啦。跟住仲有一個環節喎，跟住個環節就係講呢個菲律賓嘅節日啦。好，休息一陣先。大家好，歡迎翻嚟 CCR 文化潮流之菲律賓。Hi everyone, welcome back to the CCR Cultural Trends of the Philippines. So now we have Edgar Solitz with us to talk about some festival of the Philippines. 我哋今日咧有Edgar 咧係同我哋為我哋介紹一啲咧菲律賓嘅一啲特別嘅節目嘅。咁首先我哋咧介紹一下 Edgar 先啦。So Edgar, can you introduce yourself?Hello
everybody, my name is Edgar Sulit and I'm the president of the International Professional Entertainment Network.
Edgar 咧佢就係咧呢一個協會嘅主席嚟，一間公司嘅主席嚟嘅。佢個公司個名就叫做 International Professional Entertainment Network， 簡稱就 IPEN 啦。咁樣咧佢就係咧嗰度嘅主席嚟嘅。So what do you do in this company?
I organize beauty pageants, fashion shows and concerts.
原來 Edgar 咧佢籌辦選美活動啊、fashion show 啊，仲有一啲演唱會嘅呢類咁嘅活動嘅，好似今日咁，佢帶咗好多靚女上嚟我哋嘅 studio 度啊。So Edgar, I see that you have brought us so many pretty girls today.
I have 4 of them with me.
Yes, and I know that you are here to tell us about some festival in the Philippines.Yes,
it's a very special festival in the Philippines. It happens in Cebu every 3rd Saturday of January.
OK. Edgar 就話佢今日咧就會為我哋介紹一個節目，一個好特別嘅節目咧。佢會喺宿務嗰度舉行嘅呢個節目，咁就每一年都會進行嘅。So, when is it January?
Yeah, I have Christine who could tell you more about it.
Oh, sure. So, hi. Hi, Kristen. How are you?
Good.
So, can you tell us about this festival? Like, what festival are we talking about right now?
So it's basically called Sinulog Festival.
Sinulog Festival?
And it's a religious festival that happens for 9 days. And it's to honors Santo Niño and held every 3rd Sunday of January.3rd
Sunday of January.
Yeah, and also, Sinulog commemorates the Filipino people's acceptance to Christianity.
Christine 咧為我哋介紹嘅呢個節日咧就叫做 Sinulog Festival。呢個節日咧佢嘅重點咧就係要紀念夏英時代嘅耶穌。佢每年咧1月第3個星期日咧就會舉行噶啦。佢另外一個意義咧就係去到表示同埋代表菲律賓人咧接受咧基督教呢一個嘅宗教嘅。最特別嘅地方係咩咧？呢一個節日咧係有9日咁長嘅。哇！呢個慶典竟然有9日咁長，9日係一個好長嘅時間嘅慶祝活動嚟㗎嚇。頭先咧就講到咧山路樂咧呢個節日咧係啲乜嘢嚟嘅，咁而家我哋講一講佢嘅起源啦。So we have another pretty girl here that she will talk about the origin of this festival. So what's her name?
Mabel.
Mabel. Hi, Mabel.
Hi.
So can you tell us about what is the origin of this Sinulog festival?
Okay. So before it all happened, the Sinulog was already danced by the locals in honor of their wooden statues in the period before the Cebuans were baptized. After the image of the famous Santo Niño was brought to Cebu and the Catholic faith was established in the region, the dance was made a part of the yearly fiesta in honor of the Santo Niño.
Oh, okay. So they actually dance by, like, the local is actually danced in with the wooden statues?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 原來呢個節日有一個習俗本地人會做嘅， 就係喺一個木製嘅十字架面前跳舞啦。點解佢哋要咁做呢？因為佢哋覺得呢一個舉動就係去到紀念耶穌啱啱被帶到去宿墓嘅時候嘅紀念活動嚟嘅。Yes, and what's more about the origin? Is there any more?
Yeah, while they are dancing, people are shouting, Pit Señor, Señor, Santo Niño, Manao Kalau. The Sinulog became a dance ritual in honor of Santo Niño.
What is that? Pit Señor?
It's a saying.
Oh, okay.
What they say when they're dancing and shouting, that's what they shout out.
Okay, so that's basically this is what they do when
Yeah.
they dance. Oh, okay. 咁啊 Mabel 就同我哋講咧，原來咧當各人喺度慶祝緊，即係去到慶祝緊呢一個 festival 咧，咁佢哋就會跳舞啦。咁跳舞嘅時候咧，佢哋就會好大聲咁吶喊咧，一句嘅説話係佢哋自己種族、佢哋自己嘅語言嚟嘅。但係咧呢一句説話咧，其實咧都係一啲好神聖嘅説話嚟嘅。咁佢哋咧就當一路跳舞嘅時候咧，就會一路講呢一段説話。咁呢一個咧就係呢一個嘅Sinulog Festival 嘅特別之處啦。So is there any more about the origins that you want to share with us?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Mabel.
Thank you.
講完呢一個 Sinulog Festival 嘅起源之後呢，我哋就講講呢一個節日有啲咩特色啦。So let's talk about the characteristic of the festival. So Eka is really great that he brought us so many pretty girls. So I have a third young lady here who is going to talk about the characteristic of the festival. So what's your name?
Haley.
Haley. Hi, Haley. I like this name a lot.
Thank you.
So can you tell us about the characteristic of the festival?
The festival is characterized by a very long parade with many groups of people dressed in colorful costumes. There are many dances, and the traditional and ritual dance is in honor of Santo Niño.
OK， 咁Haley 咧，佢就話呢一個節日咧，就係有一個好大嘅特點，就係一個好長嘅遊行嘅。咁呢個遊行入邊嘅人咧，就咧會着住一啲好多顏色嘅衫嘅。So go on.
So the participants, they would dance gracefully to the rhythm of drums and trumpets and the gongs.
Haley 就話咧，咁樣所有跳舞嘅人咧，所謂嘅參加嘅人咧，都會跟住呢一個鼓嘅節奏咧，去到跳舞嘅。咁當然除咗鼓之後，仲有其他嘅樂器嘅。咁總之佢哋跟住個節奏咧，去到跳舞咧，就係為咗紀念呢一個夏英時代嘅耶穌嘅。So is there any more characteristic of this festival?
No, that's it.
It's about that? Okay. So it's like I know it's a 9 days festival.
Yes.
So 9 days festival and they just do the parade and dancing like all 9 days?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Like non-stop?
No, they stop. It's like continues, kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to explain it.
But for sure, it's a very festive event.
Yes.
And usually, many people will just go to the street and they just dance together. 咁我就同阿Haley講，我就話：哇，呢個節日成9日咁長喎，9日入邊個個都係咁樣跳舞。佢話係，咁我相信菲律賓人真係好中意跳舞啦。佢都話咧，總之呢一個節日咧，總之咧一開始嘅時候咧，就會好多人一齊去到街上邊一齊去跳舞去慶祝同埋紀念呢一個節日嘅。So let's, I know that there are 3 different categories of the festival competition. So we will want to know more about this festival. So I know, let's have another lady to tell us about the 3 different categories. So what's your name?
Hi, my name is Tracy Del Rosario.
Tracy. So I can call you Tracy?
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
So like what are the 3 different categories?
So we have 3 categories. The first one is street dancing category, and then the second is free interpretation category. Then the third is Sinulog-based category.
What's the third one? Sinulog-based?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It focuses mostly on the Sinulog ritual dance worship in honor for Santo Niño, as Mabel mentioned. And the choreography is more formal. The dance steps depicts the prayer dance, which is the true identity of the Sinulog ritual dance.
Okay, before I can translate, I want to know more first. So that 3 categories is about street dance and the free interpretation
Yes.
and also the Sinaloa base. So they are basically all dances.
Yes.
But then it's like a different name of the dance that you will have to compare.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, OK。咁Tracy 咧就同我哋講咧，咁有3個唔同嘅類別嘅比賽嘅喺呢一個 Sinaloa Festival。咁其實3個比賽都係關於跳舞嘅。咁我都嘗試去翻譯俾大家聽啦。咁第一個咧佢就叫 Street Dance， 即係街頭嘅表演啦。第二咧就 Free Interpretation， 咁我相信呢個比較自由創體嘅一啲嘅舞蹈啦。第三個咧就係 Sinaloa Base 啊。咁亦都係佢哋其中一個特別嘅一個舞蹈嚟嘅，咁佢哋咧就根據呢3種唔同嘅類別咧去進行一個比賽嘅。Okay, so Tracy, so the competition, like 3 categories. Like what's like? Can you tell us more about that?
The Sinulog-based participants usually wear Filipiñanas as their costumes, which is a beautiful tradition where the Filipinos dress in.
OK， 咁Tracy 就話原來 Sinaloa Base 咧即係第3項類別嘅比賽咧，咁參賽者咧就會着一啲菲律賓嘅特色嘅衣服嘅，咁去到進行呢個比賽嘅。
The grand champion of the free interpretation and Sinulog-based category usually wins 1 million pesos each.
Wow, each. Okay, 1 million peso each. Okay, that's good. Tracy 佢就話咧呢個比賽咧每一個項目咧得到最大嘅獎項咧就係呢一個100萬嘅peso嘅，哇，非常之犀利，非常之開心啊！ So is that about it for the 3 categories?
Yep, that's
okay, great. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Hi, Aga. Thanks again to bring us so many pretty girls
You're welcome,
to here
Janet.
to tell us about the festival. So I know that it's like a 9 days festival.
Yes, it is a 9 days non-stop festival.
Non-stop, but people do sleep, right?
Sometimes, few hours, and then they go back in the morning to dance again on the street.
Oh, OK， 咁我就問到Aga 啦，咁我就話哇呢個9日咁長嘅節日，咁犀利，佢就話係啊，真係唔停㗎呢9日。咁我就話咁啲人都瞓覺㗎，咁佢就話我係講笑咁問啫，但係佢好認真咁答我。其實唔係嘅，有陣時啦，即係可能瞓一陣咧，佢哋又第2日又即刻走去玩㗎啦。So Aga, have you ever participated in this festival?
Not yet, but I would like to participate probably in the future.
Oh, really?
Definitely.
咁我就問到 Aga 佢有冇參加過呢一個嘅節日，佢都話未有，好希望可以參加。咁梗係啦，9日喎。Maybe you can join the competition to see if you can win the $1 million peso.
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be won.
Yes. I know that one of the of course your girls just explained some of the characteristics of this festival, but I also would like to conclude one of the biggest characteristics is of course the dancing.
Yes, the dancing.
Yes, and also is the instrument like the drums that Tracy just mentioned, and also the other characteristic is the costumes.
Yeah, it's like the Caribana of Toronto, but it's a lot better, a lot bigger than Caribana. It's more colorful.
咁我就同阿 Aga 問阿 Aga 啦，咁其實咧總括而言咧，呢一個節日咧最主要即係最特別嘅特色咧，就係佢有3大元素嘅。第一個就係關於跳舞啦，就呢個節日咧就係個個都係要跳舞嘅。第二咧就係有好多唔同嘅音樂嘅 instrument 啊，就係例如佢哋會用鼓啦去到伴奏啦。第三咧就係咧每一個參加嘅人咧都會着住一啲菲律賓特色嘅衣着嘅。Aga 就話咧呢一個節日咧其實就好似多倫多嘅 Cabana 咁，基本上係一模一樣，但係就更加大型嘅。Aga, is everyone going to this festival will have to wear the traditional costumes?
That's correct.
Okay, and usually what are the colors? Or is there any standard? Or depends on where you're from?
It's different colors, but mostly what I see on the video is golden color.
Golden color.
Yes.
Okay. Is the costumes is that based on where you from in the Philippines? A different region. You
Yeah,
have
it's based on
custom?
different regions, and there's also different headdress.
Oh, okay. And what about the painting on the face? Is there any special painting on the face?
Some of them have special painting on the faces.
Okay. Any specific color as well?
There's no specific color that I know of.
Oh, okay. 咁我就問到Edgar 咧，呢一個節日咧咁特別，咁啲人咧，因為菲律賓人每一去過呢個咁特別嘅節日咧，都要着佢哋獨特嘅民族嘅服飾嘅。咁佢哋我就問佢有啲咩特別嘅顏色㗎？咁佢就冇嘅，不過通常都會帶金色嘅。咁另外咧，佢就講到咧，其實每一個喺菲律賓每一個唔同嘅地方咧，都會有唔同嘅款式嘅嗰啲民族嘅衫嘅。咁呢個都非常之有趣啊！咁我就知道咧參加呢個咁嘅節日嘅人咧，都中意喺塊面上邊咧畫好多唔同嘅顏色或者圖案嘅。咁我都好奇問下佢有啲咩特定嘅圖案啊？佢話冇嘅喎。咁基本上但係會畫喺塊面度咯。咁呢個節日咧係非常非常之特別嘅。咁我都覺得咧呢個節日就值得為大家介紹一下嘅，同埋9日咁多喎，非常之犀利。而最特別就係咧佢個非常之大獎啊嘛，哇！a million pesos.
A million pesos.
Yeah, is that like only this festival has this kind of prize?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because it's one of the biggest.
OK， 咁我就問Edgar 係咪其實菲律賓嗰啲節日係咪得呢一個有咁大嘅獎項咧？咁佢都話應該都係嘅啦。So that's very special and thank you Edgar.
Thank you to Janet.
Thank you and thank you for your all four pretty girls.
Thank you for having us, and we hope to come back soon.
Sure. Thank you. 好，歡迎翻嚟 CCR 文化潮流之菲律賓。我係 Janet and today we have Tess here and she has a very special background and that I admire a lot. 今日我哋有 Tess 喺度咧，咁佢有一個好特別嘅背景嘅，咁不如我哋聽一聽佢有啲咩背景先。So Tess, let's introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Tess Kusipag. I am the editor and publisher of the largest Filipino newspaper in Toronto. I am also a director of the longest running Filipino personality contest called the Miss Manila Pageant. And I'm the chairperson, actually, and also a director of the renowned Fiesta Filipina Dance Troupe of Canada.
咁Tess 咧，佢個銜頭真係犀利啦！嗱，佢係咧喺多倫多呢個菲律賓嘅傳媒咧，一間非常之大嘅公司咧，叫做 Balatan Media Inc. 咁佢就喺嗰度咧做呢一個嘅editor 同埋呢一個出版商嘅。咁咧另外就係咧，佢除咗有呢一個咁犀利嘅銜頭之外咧，佢仲係咧呢個馬尼拉嘅選美嘅 chairperson， 非常之厲害。咁另外除咗咁之外，都唔單止係咁喎，佢仲要咧係呢一個嘅舞蹈團體嘅一個主席。So Tess, so you are a publisher.
Right.
You teach people dancing.
Right.
And you are also a chairperson of the Miss Manila pageant.
Right.
Okay, great. It's my honor to have you here.
Yeah.
And you make me want to take care of my own look.
Actually, with the Fiesta Filipina, I'm one of the directors, and there are people that are teaching the dances now because we passed it. We were dancers before, and we are retired from dancing. We are now handling all the details of the responsibilities of the dance troupe, and traveling and the teachers. We invite teachers from the Philippines to brief us and give us the latest. That's why our dance troupe is very renowned, because we have the newest dancers that are direct from home.
So you are still teaching them, or you don't?
We are
teach
no
them
longer
dancing?
teachers
Okay.
because we passed that. We were dancers before,
Oh, okay.
and we have hired teachers to teach them now.
Okay, so you're
Because
mainly
we
the
cannot,
director.
yeah,
now.
directing. We cannot go there every Sunday because the rehearsals are every Sunday. It's non-stop. But because of my job, I cannot just handle it. But we take them all over the world. We handle the fundraising. We handle we have a building now in Mississauga where they can rehearse. And we are paying for the building, so we do fundraisings. We take care of the kids, their clothes, their costumes, the props and all the instruments. And we try to market them all over the world so we can show our culture through songs and dances.
咁原來阿 Tess 佢就話佢而家其實都冇教佢哋跳舞噶啦，其實佢主要咧都係好似一個 director 嘅角色，即係一個指導嘅角色。咁咧，但係佢就安排咧好多嘅，譬如其他嘅業務啦，例如安排佢哋啲舞蹈員啦，去安排一啲先生去教佢哋跳舞。咁佢會請咧唔同嘅導師過嚟嘅，咁佢可能會請喺嚟自菲律賓嘅先生啦，亦都會請喺美國嘅舞蹈員咧去教佢哋跳舞嘅。咁除此之外咧，佢亦都咧為呢一個嘅活動咧去籌款嘅。咁佢就話佢喺 Mississauga 咧有一個地方啦，咁佢就幫手即係睇住啲細路仔，同埋將所有嘅用嘅工具啊、道具啊都擺喺嗰度。咁佢主要咧都係好想咧透過呢一個 show 咧去到宣揚佢哋呢一個嘅文化。So you actually want to show this culture, like the dancing culture.
That's right.
To us, like to the Canadian, to different like people from different cultures.
Yes.
咁啊 Tess 就話其實佢都係好想咧將呢一個跳舞嘅呢一個文化喺菲律賓跳舞呢個文化咧，將佢咧宣揚咧去到俾其他唔係菲律賓嘅族裔，包括我哋啦。So Tess, that's very special, and I can tell you are a very busy woman.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
How do you feel about your role? Because you are actually doing the editor job. You are also the director of the dance group.
Yeah.
And and also the Miss Pageant.
The Miss Manila pageant is only once a year, but the fiesta, is ongoing. We are planning. We have traveled all over the world, and this year we are going to Portugal in August. We're going to Azores. We have been to Portugal before, but we were in Lisbon, so this time we are going to Azores.
Azores?
Azores.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure. So you actually travel around the world.
That's right.
Once a year. This is your the fiesta that's
the fiesta, yeah.
Oh, okay. And let me translate first. Tess 就話咧，咁其實咧，我就話佢係一個非常之忙碌嘅人啦，因為佢又要搞報章嘅事項啦，亦都要又要選美嘅事項，仲有呢一個Fiesta 嘅呢一個舞蹈嘅團體嘅指導。咁佢就話咁其實咧呢一個選美嘅事項咧就一年一次嘅啫。咁佢呢一個舞蹈呢一個 Fiesta 呢個團體咧就比較係重視啲嘅，因為佢每一年咧佢都會去唔同嘅地方去到宣揚呢件事嘅，咁啊成日都真係即係成個世界咁走噶啦。So Tess, usually how many people in the group and how many people are you traveling every year?
We have about we're more than 100 actually, including the whole crew, the production crew, the musicians and everyone. And but every time we travel, we only take about 40 people, 35 dancers and five chaperones, and I'm one of them.
Okay. So 40 people every time.
Every time, yeah.
And once a year travel?
Once a year. Only last year we didn't, about 3 or 4 years that we were not able to go because we bought the building. But now we are resuming it. We have been to Europe so many times. Mm-hmm. We were invited in France. We were invited in Italy, Greece, and almost all over. Mm-hmm. Once the festival is ongoing around the world, and we have a contact in Montreal that introduces our dance troupe.
And usually how long is the trip?
It's about 2 weeks at the time. But there was a time when we were in Greece for 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah, but different places in Greece, not just one place. We traveled all over.
Okay, let's talk about the Greece story after
Yeah.
my translation. 咁我就問到阿 Tess 啦，咁其實佢每一次去到周遊列國咁樣啦，咁每一次其實有幾多個人呢？同埋佢個團隊有幾多人呢？咁其實佢團隊其實咧就多過100人嘅，咁但係每一次咧去到呢個巡迴表演，世界性嘅巡迴表演啦，所謂嘅，咁呢一個人數咧就大概佢只可以帶40人到，咁每一次咧去到呢個地方表演咧就大概2個禮拜到，咁但係佢就頭先提過咧，當佢喺希臘嘅時候咧，佢就逗留咗成個月喎，咁不如我哋了解下究竟係希臘有咩特別啊 ？So what's so special in Greece that you spend a month there?
There was an international festival going on every year. And so they invite all dancers from all over the world. It's actually a very good experience because you see a lot of people, you meet a lot of people. And, and we've been to places that, are not familiar. Like, we didn't go to Athens, we didn't go to the city. We were going to the provinces, the remote areas. That's why it was very, very interesting. It was more interesting.
So it's not like those Athena province. It's more local.
It's more local, yeah. But we were going out every night. We were performing in different places. They get a bus that would only pick us up during the at night, and we would go to places. It's like fiestas all over. So we were really having such a marvelous time, and also. The place that we were going is like it's a fiesta where everything was happening. They have things that you can buy, things that you can eat. It's like a whole festival. And for our kids, it was really, really exciting, and for us too.
And that's why you stay for a month.
That's why, yeah. But that invitation was, uncommon anyways. Normally the invitation is for only 1 week or 2 weeks, but the Greece invitation, because it was so big, they had a lot of festivals ongoing on different parts of the country. That's why we had to stay for a while.
OK， 咁我就問到阿 Tessa 點解佢喺呢個希臘嗰度可以逗留成個月咁耐呢？原來佢就話咧，希臘嗰度咧有一個國際性嘅盛事啊，咁啊佢就覺得呢個係非常之好嘅經驗，同埋咧能夠認識到好多好多唔同嘅人。咁而佢逗留嘅地方咧並唔係一啲即係我哋成日聽嘅名勝地方，就唔係啲咩雅典啊嗰啲咁嘅名勝地方喎，佢係一啲好本地嘅地方，好 local 嘅。咁佢逗留喺嗰度，所以見識咧就更加多啦。咁佢就每一晚咧都去唔同嘅地方度表演，咁有巴士專門咧去 pick up 佢哋成 group 人咧一齊咧去到表演嘅。So Tess, I'm sure that's a very special experience.
It is, yeah.
And so besides you were performing in Greece and like Europe, some other Greek places, your hometown, the Philippines. For sure.
Of course, yeah.
You have performed there.
We have gone to Boracay to perform, and we also perform in different places in the Philippines where we got the invitations. But Boracay was one of the most memorable for us.
Okay. 咁我就問到阿 Tessa 話，咁你去到咁多地方表演啦，有歐洲咁樣，有唔同嘅國家，咁自己嘅 hometown 菲律賓，咁應該唔會冇表演過㗎。咁當然啦，阿 Tessa 都話當然有表演過啦。佢哋成日都收到好多唔同嘅邀請咧，去到菲律賓度表演嘅。咁其中一個地方咧叫做 Boracay， 咁啊我哋中文叫做長灘島啊。咁嗰度咧佢就表演過嘅。咁佢話嗰度係一個好特別嘅地方。
Of course, yeah. If you haven't been to the Philippines, it's one of the best countries to go to nowadays because our beaches are very, very clean and it's now famous around the world. So if you're planning to go, just Google the Boracay Beach in the Philippines and I can guarantee you the journey is going to be worth it.
阿 Tessa 今日咧就嚟到咧同我哋咧介紹一個地方咧就喺呢個菲律賓非常之出名嘅，咁佢就話咧菲律賓咧係絕對係一個非常之值得去嘅地方，又乾淨啦，又有啲好靚嘅沙灘啦咁嘅。咁今日咧佢特別想同我哋介紹嘅地方咧就叫做 Boracay， 我哋叫做長灘島啊。咁我哋不如聽下咧阿 Tess 有啲咩好介紹啦。So Tess, so where is this place, like Boracay?
Boracay is about an hour and a half flight from Manila. It is in the Puerto Princesa, right? No,
It's
sorry.
It's part of Aklan province.
Oh, it's Aklan province.
near
Sorry.
Aklan.
Klang
Yeah.
province. Let me translate. So, 阿 Tess 咧佢就話咧，呢一個長灘島咧就大約咧係1個半鐘頭嘅飛機嘅行程咧，即係由呢一個馬尼拉咧大概係1個半鐘頭到嘅。So about an hour and a half flight.
Right.
What's so special of this place?
Well, Boracay is noted around the world. There's a lot of places that you can. There's a lot of things that you can do while in there. You can hike. You can snorkel, and beaches. There's about how many beaches do we have over there, Bong? You know, there's a lot of them that you can. Lots of resorts that you can go to. And there's about more than 30 hotels that you can use.
Wow.
So if you go to a hotel in the Philippines, there's a lot of flyers at the lobby of the hotel where they will introduce you to all the places in our country. And Boracay is the most famous.
OK，咁Tess 咧佢就話咧呢一個 Boracay 咧，佢係一個好盛名去俾你去浮潛啦，俾你去行山啦，同埋一啲同埋係一個好靚嘅沙灘嚟嘅。咁佢話入邊咧有好多個resort 啦，同埋好多酒店。佢話有超過30間嘅酒店，而你咧去到任何酒店度咧都會有好多 flyer， 即係話俾你知呢一個地方咧最出名係咩？最出名咧就係 Boracay 啦。So I know there are many beaches in Boracay. Are there like 2 main beaches that are really famous?
All of them are famous, though.
Oh,
you can
okay.
just go into the province and you can just explore the whole place. There's a lot of them that you can see. It's really worth the try. It's really worth the travel.
咁我就問阿 Tess 咁因為入邊有咁多個沙灘，係咪有啲特別出名嘅咧？咁阿 Tess 就話全部都好出名，仍然都係有好多人咧中意去呢一個地方度玩嘅。佢就話呢個地方咧係絕對值得去玩嘅。So Tess, so is it what makes it famous? Is it like the white sand?
The white sand,
and
I guess it's the Filipino hospitality as well. Because in the Philippines, people will always smile at you, and all of us speak English. So you'll not be lost at all.
Oh, okay. So that's very important, especially
very
for me.
Yeah, very important.
咁我就問阿 Tess 呢個地方咧，有啲咩即係咁出名咧？哦，原來話佢啲沙咧係好靚嘅，係啲好白色嘅，全部都係白色嘅沙嚟嘅。咁樣咧，佢就話咧入邊咧，因為好多人咧都係講英文嘅，所以你去到就唔需要擔心咧語言呢個障礙啦。And Tess, I actually search a little bit about this place. Once I click on the picture, first of all, a big wow,
Right.
really beautiful beach. It's really nice, and I know that it's like a bomb-shaped beach, which is very special to me. And I know that there is a lot of nightlife. Is that right? Like people go there.
A lot of them. Yeah. They don't sleep. It's 24 hours entertainment.
24 hours entertainment. Okay, that's good for us. That's good for us. 咁我就問阿 Tess 啦。咁我即係小女子都睇過呢一個長灘島入邊咧有啲咩特別嘅地方嘅。咁我見到咧呢個地方除一個好靚嘅沙灘之外咧，仲係一個咧非常之出名咧呢個夜生活嘅。咁我就問阿 Tess 係咪真係咁精彩咧？阿 Tess 就話啲人係唔需要瞓嘅，基本上咧呢個夜生活咧係24小時都係喺度嘅。So Tess, this is for sure a great place.
Of course, yeah. We will not discuss about it. And there's a lot of good places back home. It's not only the Boracay. There's a lot of good places that you can explore. And like I said, once you go to the hotel, there will be a lot of places that will be introduced to you. And it just so happened that Boracay is very famous around the world. But there's a lot of good places
because of its beauty.
Explore.
咁阿 Tess 話其實就當然唔係淨止 Boracay 呢一個地方啦，其實咧菲律賓有好多地方都好好玩嘅，但係呢個地方係特別出名嘅，所以我哋今日咧就想同大家講多啲呢個地方。So Tess, we will talk more about this place. So Tess, about the Boracay. this place, this name is actually very special. Like what does it come from? Like the name, Barak. What does it mean?
Well, Boracay, I know that it means white cotton.
Oh, okay.
Because of the beach, the white sand.
Oh, so because it's like white cotton, and that's why it's called the Boracay. Okay, very special. Good to learn about this. And so Boracay, you told us about Boracay, like what to do there. I know that we can do hike, snorkel, and like there are a lot of beaches. Is there any other events?
Yeah,
like there?
you can play golf in Boracay, and there's a lot of activities every night. The movie stars from our country, they all frequent the Boracay, and so they also hold concerts every night almost. There's a lot of activities, so like I said, it's a 24-hour thing. You'll never get bored.
Okay, let me do the translation. 咁我就問到阿 Tess 咧，首先我問佢呢個Boracay 個名點嚟啦，咁佢就話咧Barak 呢個名咧，其實咧呢個字咧其實代表白色嘅棉花，咁白色嘅棉花咧就好似啲白色嘅沙咁靚咁，所以呢個名咧就 Boracay 咧就係咁嚟噶啦。另外咧我就問到阿 Tess 咧，究竟咧喺呢一個 Boracay 度咧除咗頭先講到有得行山啊，有得浮潛啊，仲有咁多沙灘之外，仲有啲咩特別嘅 event 喺嗰度嘅咧？佢就話原來咧喺呢一個地方度咧有好多好多唔同嘅 concerts 嘅，亦都有好多唔同嘅節目俾大家玩嘅。咁啊 concert 咧佢就話其實咧幾乎咧好似頭先咁講啦，不夜城嚟嘅，24小時都有嘢做緊嘅。咁啊好多好多唔同嘅演唱會啊喺度娛樂大家啦。而呢啲嘅旅遊嘅人士咧亦都可以咧去打下呢個高爾夫球嘅喎。So Tess, golf course.On a beach.
No, it's not actually on the beach, but in the area. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a big
area.
The
Fiesta Filipina dance troupe was invited to perform there one time, and that was about 5 years ago. They are really inviting entertainers to grace the place. That's why I said, it's non-stop entertainment. So and our group was one of the performers there.
Okay, good. So they invited your group to perform dancing?
Yes.
In the Boracay.
Yeah.
Okay. 咁原來阿 Tess 佢話咧，因為呢個地方咧非常之出名，咁啊邀請好多唔同嘅群眾咧去嗰度表演嘅。咁啊 Tess 因為佢係一個舞蹈嘅教練嚟噶嘛，咁所以咧佢就亦都咧被邀請過咧佢哋嗰個舞蹈嘅團隊咧去到 Boracay 嗰度咧表演嘅。So good, Tess. So like the performance is like you were up on the stage and many people on the beach. They were just dancing.
Yeah. But they have a small stage there, at some places. But the others they just do it on the beach. So it's do as you please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a small stage, but then the area is so big, so people will just dance together.
Yeah, because there are so many things that you can do. So you can just go around, and there are different entertainments in different places. So you just have to, go around and see which one you would like.
Oh, okay. 咁我就問到阿 Tess 啦，咁喺嗰度表演，哇！咁我感覺一定會好正啦，有沙灘咁樣，咁啊應該好多人喺嗰度啦。咁啊 Tess 話其實個舞台咧就唔係好大嘅，但係咧因為個沙灘個位置就好大，咁所以就好多人一齊同佢哋慶祝啊，一齊喺度跳舞咁，非常之熱鬧嘅。So Tess, beside the concerts, the performance and golf, I know that like you mentioned about windsurfing is also very popular there too. Great. 咁啊，原來咧喺嗰度咧 windsurfing 都非常之出名嘅，咁啊好多專業嘅人士咧就會喺嗰度咧做呢一個活動俾大家睇嘅。So many beaches and activities and also so many resorts, and that's what make Boracay so popular.
Yeah. Oh, now I can hear it.
So 24 hours non-stop entertainment. Right. It's really a good place. I so want to go right now.
It's very comparable to some of the big resorts in Mexico and other countries. It's really nice to go there if you want to. There's a lot of places that offer different rates. Like the hotels, you can shop around and you can get reasonable rates. because there's like I said, there's about 30 or 31 hotels in the Philippines, in Boracay alone, where you can shop for the best rates that
So we have to bargain.
Yeah, you have to bargain, yeah.
Really? Like I can bargain?
But you can just ask them. I don't know if you can really bargain, but I know that there are some that are offering cheaper rates than the others.
OK，
Yeah.
阿 Tess 咧就同我哋講咧話，嗰度有成30幾間酒店咧，真係逐間問下咧，分分鐘你可能講究揾到個好好嘅價錢都唔定嘅。So thank you, Tess. It's really good to have you here to tell us about this place. I so want to go there right now. Hopefully, I can go there soon. Thank you.
Thank you too for inviting us.
咁時間過得真係好快，咁樣就過咗2個鐘啦。我哋仲有好多嘢想同大家分享㗎。咁下個禮拜一同樣時間繼續收聽 CCR 文化潮流菲律賓。It's time to say goodbye and we will see you next Monday, same time from 10 to 12.